Today, I'm sitting down with Mr. Snehal Patel, who has always dreamed of living in a home surrounded by nature. And for the past 8 years, that dream has become a reality. His residence operates completely off grid, relying solely on renewable energy sources like wind and solar power, while his water needs are fulfilled through rainwater harvesting. In addition to his living arrangement, he is the founder and managing trustee of Nature Club. Over the span of 20 years, he has transformed a barren piece of land into a thriving urban forest through his unwavering dedication. Nature Club now serves as a vibrant habitat for a variety of wildlife, including numerous birds, reptiles, insects, butterflies, and an extensive array of trees. We have discussed his thoughts behind his eco-friendly home, the transition from awareness to action, understanding the common myths people have, what role can India play globally in advancing sustainable development, and so much more. So without any further ado, let's begin. How can people transition from awareness to action when it comes to eco-friendly living?
Well, they should put in action what they have learned, how to live environment friendly. They should put it into action.
And what role can India play globally in advancing sustainability development and eco and innovation?
India has very good manufacturing facilities where they can manufacture power generating windmills, solar panels, and this can be exported.
Hello sir, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Well, great, that's glad to know. So can you share your journey towards embracing a sustainable lifestyle?
Well, right from beginning, I was interested in nature, wildlife, and protecting environment. But as such, I am a mechanical engineer, and when I finished my engineering degree and came back to Surat, I found this city very dull. Nobody was interested in planting trees or protecting wildlife.
Right.
They were all scared of reptiles and killing them whenever they see them.
Right.
So, with the help of three like-minded friends, we started a NGO which is called Nature Club Surat around 4 decades ago, and gradually we started environment education, nature education camps, etc. through our NGO.
All right, so that's a great journey. So what were some challenges you might have faced initially?
A lot of challenges were there. As the NGO grew, finance was a very big challenge because nobody was interested in supporting nature related activities.
Right.
And we had to struggle a lot initially to collect funds for our projects or whatever activities we want to do. Like even planting tree, we have to put a tree guard around it, and even the tree guards will get robbed because they are of metal. So these are some initial hurdles we had faced, and then we overcome it by our own innovation, making tree guards from rubber tires, bamboo, and things like that.
Beautiful. So main thing was awareness. Lack of awareness was also lacking for funds.
Correct.
All right. So also you have told a lot of things how to overcome them. So any new challenges that you might have, it was difficult to overcome?
Well, you use your brain and do some brainstorming, and we can overcome gradually all the difficulties we have overcome, and now we are full-fledged. We have so many projects going on in South Gujarat. We are protecting lakes. We are also running a deer breeding center in Vashta National Park, where we are breeding animals, the herbivore animals, and reintroducing them into the wild.
Yes.
At Gavial Lake, we are protecting complete lake with 1.5 kilometer fencing around the water body,
Right.
planting native trees, Due to this, lot of migratory birds are coming over there.
Okay.
Some of the birds which were not found over there are now they are staying over there.
Wow, so it's a long story, I mean, a
Yes,
long journey for Nature Club.
correct.
All right. So, what are some small actionable steps people can take in their daily lives to live a more sustainable lifestyle?
The very beginning anyone can do is stop using tissue papers. Nowadays, whenever you go to hotels or even in house or in car, there are so many tissue papers being used
Yes.
and they are being thrown away, and they
Yes.
are made by using trees, by chopping down
Yes.
trees. Another thing is staircase. Even people staying on second, third floor, they use lift. They can
Yes.
easily go walking. They can save power, as well as they can have a better life, physically fit. So again, if you are going a short distance, you can use your bicycle or a the smallest two-wheeler, or maybe the electric two-wheeler, which are now available
Right.
instead of using car for short distances.
How can people transition from awareness to the correct action when it comes to eco friendly living?
Well, once you get aware, you know how a sustainable life can be lived.
Right.
They have to uh, get it into action, like start one by one, say small step at a time,
Hmm.
and gradually they will feel the difference themselves. They will feel happy that you are doing something to save environment, to save our planet Earth, which is now deteriorating very fast.
Right.
And thus, one by one, they should start implementing the things which are possible. Like everything may not be possible for everyone.
Hmm.
So even a small step you take is good for a good beginning. Yeah,
Right. So, like a small step can also lead to a big one when done together.
correct.
All right. Then, what might be some common myths about sustainable living?
Like many people feel that if you are living a sustainable life, you will have to do a lot of sacrifices, but
Right.
it is not so. Like you see, this is my room. It is a eco-friendly room, eco-friendly house. I don't have plaster on the wall, I don't have color on the wall.
Right.
Like color will emit fumes, and that fumes will be inhaled by us.
Right.
But by keeping the walls and the rock wall bare,
Hmm.
I don't get harmful chemicals. Then building the house in such a way that it does not get hot. So I don't
Yes.
need AC. And that is how I am saving a lot of power. And as we know, that power comes mainly from very polluting thermal power houses.
Yes.
And the same way, whatever material you select for living a sustainable life, it should
Right.
have minimum carbon footprint.
Hmm.
Like the stone in my house is from Rajasthan, the nearest state. The bricks and the wall are made using material available in Gujarat. All this I have considered while making a house. There
Right.
are large windows, so I don't need artificial lighting in the house.
Hmm.
So it is just the way you design the house or you design your lifestyle so that there is minimum harm to the environment. Living sustainable does not mean that you will have a hardship, you will face hardship in your life.
Yes. So, sustainability is more about creativity, I feel.
Creativity as well as putting right things together, which will have less carbon footprint.
Right. So one good thing that you mentioned is rather than choosing an Italian marble, which comes from a long transportation
Yes, yes,
process,
correct,
can also be risky. Choosing a tile from Rajasthan or also some different materials from Gujarat makes a huge difference in the carbon footprint.
correct.
Do you feel any myths about budget in sustainable living?
Budget.
Yes.
Like if I consider the expenses I had in this house, it is less than a modern house, because modern houses are using Italian marble, granite, then aluminum windows or windows with soundproofing.
Yes.
Huge ACs are required to cool down the modern houses. All that
Right.
I don't need.
So budget will not matter much when you have to go with your close surroundings
Correct.
materials.
Correct. And planting trees in your surrounding, around your house or around your apartment, even they will keep the house cool.
Right. So the oxygen also circulates around, making a
Yes,
fresh air.
correct, correct.
Right. So India has a rich history of sustainable practices that too rooted in traditional lifestyles. So how can we revive these practices in modern context?
Like some of the practices we had in our rural or even urban old houses, they were all collecting water. The rainwater was being collected, and that water was used throughout the year for cooking and drinking. And the same thing I have implemented in this house also. I am collecting all the rainwater, around 2 lakh liter of rainwater, and I am
Wow.
using that water all around the year. I don't need a municipal water connection. Then we had the earthen pots, matka, which will keep
Yes.
the water cool. There is no need of putting our drinking water in a refrigerator.
Hmm.
When we and generally we put water in plastic bottles and then we put in the refrigerator.
Right.
While plastic bottles are very harmful, people don't understand. You store anything, any food item or liquid items in any plastic container, it becomes poison gradually.
Wow.
While our traditional methods, earthen pots or collecting of rainwater, they are all very sustainable system or sustainable ideas our ancestors were having. And it is not so that this cannot be practiced in our modern lifestyle. It is just we have to change our way of thinking.
Yes. So using a different path of thinking, forgetting the myths and actually focusing on what the real life situation is.
Correct.
So once again, I feel that innovation plays a huge role.
Yes,
Once
correct.
again, rainwater harvesting. And many of the time, bamboo, India is a huge bamboo, let's say, importer or exporter.
Yeah, bamboo and cane, also jute, they are growing very easily in our climate. So, furniture can be made from bamboo or cane, which are actually grass. They are not trees. So, we are not going to harm our forest. And the same way, jute, it is also a wild grass, and jute curtains or even jute cloths are now available.
Right.
They are better than the nylon and synthetic cloth. So I
Yes.
would request people to say bye bye to this artificial synthetic cloth which people are wearing. You can wear cotton, jute, linen. They are much colder and much
Yes.
environment friendly
Yes.
clothing.
Right. So since you mentioned about bamboo growing in India, I feel there is also new airport in Bangalore, the Kempegowda Airport,
Yes.
which totally works sustainably.
Yeah. They have a lot of solar panels. They are collecting rainwater. They have a beautifully designed garden which are biodiversity friendly.
Yes.
They are full of birds, butterflies. That should be implemented or copied at other places also.
Right. So they've also used a lot of plants and cocoa peat.
That is used for cooling. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Then, how are technological advancements like solar energy solutions, you said, or water recycling systems shaping the future of environmental friendly construction?
Normally, all our metro cities or even a city like Surat, they have town planning laws and even building laws that if you are making an apartment which
Right.
is having say more than 100 houses,
Okay.
then they need to have a small STP in their own complex so that water can be recycled. Maybe that water is not used for drinking, but that recycled water can be used for gardening, for utensil washing, or for car washing, so
Okay.
that new water requirement is reduced.
All right.
Also, there is law that if you make a bore well, it should be recharged.
Okay.
Recharging bore wells are now compulsory even in cities like Chennai, which
Right.
had a very huge water scarcity. But now they have done mandatory water recharging in every bore well, and
Okay.
now the water level has come up.
That's
And the
right.
same thing can be implemented in all the cities. And also, the biggest problem is disposal of garbage.
Okay.
If citizens start doing waste segregation at source, then lot of uh, dirt or waste going to the landfill will reduce,
Right.
and lot of it can be recycled,
Right.
and that is more sustainable way of living.
So I feel a more sustainable consumption and a production can also lead to good lifestyles, right?
More,
Sustainable consumption and hence production.
definitely, like the milk, plastic milk pouch we are getting. Earlier, we were getting milk in glass bottle. If we
Yes.
bring that system back, all the plastic pouch, millions of them can be stopped, and glass bottles can be reused. They can be
Yes.
recycled. We
Yes.
have to go back into the industrial activity what we had, transporting the glass bottles and taking them back into the dairy where they can be washed and recycled. Same thing can be done for cold drinks. All the cold drinks were earlier available in glass bottle,
Okay.
but now they are in plastic,
Right.
which we use and throw away.
Huh.
And people don't realize where this plastic is going. Either it is going into the landfill, or
Right.
it ends up into our river, and through the river it goes into the ocean.
Right.
And all the marine mammals, fish, they are all having plastic
Yes.
into their body right now.
And that marine pollution causes a lot of
Yes,
diseases
correct,
and problems.
correct.
So I feel this is a huge cycle coming up. So let's say if you waste one thing, how will that waste go into pollution and at the end affect us back?
Correct. Yeah.
Yes. So I feel, do you have any improvements that a person can make in their society or more of their apartments? Something new, something innovative?
Waste segregation at source is the thing everybody can do. Awareness is required, and say at the base of the apartment they can have a composter or water
Okay.
recycling plant, and a water collection area. Like the modern apartment, they have two levels of parking. Why
Right.
can't they have two levels of water storage? We
Huh.
are having enough rainfall, just collect the water. Add one
Yes.
or two floors just for collecting water.
Right. Okay. So, how can future generations in India shape a more sustainable and eco conscious society?
For the new generation like yours, the social media can play a very big role, because all information is available on social media.
Right.
How you can live a more sustainable life, even in a small way, or even an industry, what all things they can do for living or running an industry in a more sustainable way. Ideas are all available. Only it is a question of implementing it.
Right.
And definitely the youth can be a big force which can bring
Yes.
this change, because if environment is getting deteriorated, after
Right.
all it is the young generation who are
Hmm.
going to suffer due to it. That
So, the main is now thinking about the future. Present tense will be gone, it'll
yes,
become past. But I feel future is the most pivotal point,
correct,
which I think youth must
yeah,
have an action, implement on it, right?
Pardon?
Have an action, implement on the other problems that we have, such as pollution, global warming, right? So youth must take an action.
Correct. Youth should take action.
Yes. So do you have any messages for the youth that it's not just social media which you have to just work upon? I feel action speaks louder than words. So any thoughts on that?
Like the youth can play a very important role. Like I told previously that stop using the system in which you use and throw, or
Yes.
start recycling the material, put
Yes.
it in a way such that it can be used again and again, or upgrade it instead of
Okay.
downgrade and throwing it away.
So I feel even technology plays a good role, and even self-awareness, self-consciousness also plays a
Correct,
good role.
correct. Yeah.
Right. So I feel thank you so much. But if you have any last thoughts, or at the same time any other actions which you might take further in Nature Club?
I would request youth to spend more time into outdoors, into the forest, go to the beach, go to the river, and understand nature, and then you will get the feeling to protect it. And most of our actions are harming environment, but by changing the way we live and think, we can uh, create a huge impact and stop the deterioration of environment.
Right. I feel even a bit fun initiatives like that Nature Club is taking. One of your example is your birthday ritual that you do every year,
Yes,
planting trees.
yeah. Youth can take up such activity like on the birthdays you can plant tree, or you can contribute to some NGO which are saving animals or doing some conservation project instead of spending large amount of money on birthday parties. Correct.
Correct. So I also feel that even as you said, animals must be preserved, they must be saved, right? So I feel how what does Nature Club do in those aspects?
Like nature club is saving all the injured animals, or some animals which get into their houses like reptiles or birds. Our volunteers will go and rescue them. If they are injured, they bring this injured animal to our hospital. We have
Okay.
an animal hospital, and we
Okay.
treat them and release them back into the wild. We are also breeding endangered animals so that they can be released back into the wild, and the eco balance of forest will be maintained.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So once again, understanding the whole cycle and letting it be how the nature has given it to us.
Correct.
Right. So thank you so much, sir. I'm so glad to have you here.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for watching the podcast all the way through the end. याद रहे, जिंदगी में छोटी छोटी चीजें ही बड़े बदलाव लाती है. Every moment and every effort counts. And together, we are creating something powerful. अगर ये एपिसोड आपको पसंद आया हो तो लाइक, शेयर और सब्सक्राइब करके अपना सपोर्ट जरूर दिखाइए. Stay curious, stay kind, and keep growing. Until then, keep embracing sustainability, and I'll see you next time.